All right, Back of the Bus podcast. We got another Black Panther review. This is issue number 3. Beautiful cover.
Yes.
Beautiful cover. Love the cover. It's actually the 200th issue of Black Panther.
Wait, it's got some weight to it. Let them know.
Yeah. Oh no, it's thick. It's thick. A lot in here. Not even just for the story. Which honestly, this was like the first week that I felt like they were kind of dragging their feet a bit. You know, yeah. I felt like, you know, the pace of the story slowed way down in this issue. For this to be the 200th issue, the one y'all been hyping for months, you know what I mean? I was expecting a little bit more on the story side, but a lot to love, a lot to like about this issue.
I think the conversation that you and I had in the green room, I call it that, the green room before we went live. I think a lot of that, what we talked about in the green room, was what this issue was dedicated to, giving a lot of backstory. You know,
yeah, sure.
Come in out the gate, issues 1 and 2, nothing but action. So while it did slow down, like you said, I think it was a needed pace adjustment. Okay. So that those that aren't aware of the Black Panther mythos, those that are aware of the Black Panther mythos, can get caught up just like that. Let me give you a brief synopsis of it. So I could take that because of the places that we went here. So I could take that. Exactly.
So we start out where we left off in issue 2. The assassins have cornered Tchalla again. A couple things that stood out to me about this scene that have been common throughout this, or at least one of them has been common. Oh, so comfortable with the way that she speaks to Tchalla, man. Like, now I will say, I haven't seen anybody else talk to him like that in this book so far. So maybe they're getting somewhere, they planting a seed, or they trying to tell you something about their relationship. But boy, she be letting her mouth go. Like she ain't never had no type of training at all.
I'm gonna tell you what, it's interesting that you mentioned that, because when a YouTuber talked about how Shuri speaks to Tchalla, you and I understand from the outside looking in as a fictional character that he is a king. Right. But now, watch this. Looking at my daughter and how she treats me right now, my 20-year-old daughter, she does not care about daddy's level of success. You're dad. I'm not going to treat you special. Yeah. So it's one of them things where it's like, it's interesting because I know how you and I look at it. But if I know Marcus from the time that Marcus comes out of the womb, even though Marcus is a king, I'm not going to necessarily treat Marcus like people outside of Marcus would treat Marcus.
Right. Yeah.
So I get what you're saying, and like I said, I felt it myself, but I can appreciate it for why it's different and why you and I look at it as being different. So I can definitely appreciate it.
Okay, I wanted to toss that at you. I was interested to see what your take was on that. She's been letting them fly. So they engage with the assassins once again. Tchalla is telling her, "Oh, save one. Like we need to get one back to Wakanda to see what's going on here." And she just don't seem to be listening. That's some more of that insubordination. Maybe they got a real close relationship.
They did kill a man. Now, come on.
Yeah, just took him out. But the one of the things that I noticed in the art here, what's going on with T'Challa's suit, man? We haven't been very hypercritical, but it looked like he got a GIMP suit on for a second. Like I don't. What happened here?
I was trying not to say it.
What happened? Like he got on it just turned into a black cat suit. I don't get it. A little lapse in the pen there. Little lapse.
You and I just sat here, okay, and as people who were reading T'Challa before the movie came out, we didn't had to get used to some uniforms, some costume adaptation. And first of all, we was like, okay, it's costume. He put the mask on, and then Ta-Nehisi Coates, they introduced us to it's the whole habit. It's a whole habit thing formed around it. And so now I'm looking at this dude like, so this like a vibranium nanobot skin suit. Like,
I don't understand no claws. He don't have, there's no gadgets, there's no bracelets, it is literally just black.
There's no differentiation. Nothing.
Nothing.
It's like my dog just literally got on a black skin tight nanotech.
The panther ears disappear at some point on this joint. Like I'm looking at it, I'm like, hold on, wait, which one is O and which one is T'Challa? Because okay, no, she got the ghost face on her joints, so that means ski ball over here got to be T'Challa, and I don't. That is
the only difference between the two. She ain't got ears and she got the skull. Other than that, it's a black bodysuit.
It's pretty close.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
So T'Challa comes to the conclusion, since he's been, popped up on more than once here in the last few days, that they're tracking him. And his calculation is that the best way to kind of disrupt all of that with them tracking him is to get off planet. And if you need to get off planet, what better place to go than newly terraformed Araco, formerly known as Mars, the planet formerly known as Mars, to visit its regent and ruler, Miss Aurora Monroe.
Right. I mean, everybody ain't got it like that.
We just pull up on Mars.
Mostly it's like, I'm going to go see my lady and she live across town.
Yeah.
She live down the street, cross country, in a whole nother continent. No. Your lady.
No.
Watch this. Damn all that. Not only do she live off planet, you got the means to get them.
Like at a moment's notice, though, I'm going to take the terrain vehicle that I'm currently in, the earthbound vehicle I'm currently in, and I'm gonna just shoot to Mars real quick. No preparation. It took Jeff Bezos damn near 20 years of stealing from his own employees to get to one lap out there. You know what I'm saying? In orbit. It took him 20 years. T'Challa takes his goddamn his S-class to Mars. The flex.
Wait. Superman is a whole alien from a whole nother damn planet.
Man.
He got the bottle city of Kandor. My dog ain't taking Lois to Kandor just like that. Lois don't even run Kandor. She don't. My dog lady she runs Mars.
Mm-hmm.
Runs Mars. Runs Mars. So that's what's up.
Yeah, big flex. Big flex. We do shoot back to Wakanda. There is a scene here with Akili and Shuri. Akili is trying to counsel to Shuri that T'Challa's absence is making the process at Parliament a little bit tenuous. People don't necessarily respect it if the most respected person in your orbit doesn't respect it. Is it Cap? Or is it real? Because Shuri seems to think that there's a problem at the end of that conversation. But is it a problem because she believes it, or is it a problem because it's Cap, and that's why it's a problem?
I ain't got my Panther teeth on today because they was kind of heavy when I was going through my health issues.
Okay.
I'm like T'Challa.
Glad you feeling better, by the way, man.
I appreciate that.
Sure.
I'm like T'Challa. Y'all got this. Y'all got even Akili. It's Cap to me from Akili. What did you tell me? You said from afar. You said, ain't that what Akili told him in the first issue?
Yeah.
Just from afar, you know what I'm saying? Don't be that person. You gotta kind of like be out there. Well, you know what? I can't think of no place further out there than Mars. Don't. Hey, don't come running to me at the first sign of trouble. Y'all said y'all wanted the democracy. Y'all got that. I got something else I gotta do. Don't come hollering at me right now. Don't. Watch this. Just me being low key petty. I didn't even appreciate Shuri even hollering at him about that. She should have. What about? Oh no. Y'all said my brother was the king. Y'all ain't want him to be the king. He's just a it's just face right now. So no, y'all got that. Yeah. That's how I felt. That's how I feel.
So let me piggyback off of that, right? So Shuri does get into contact with T'Challa. And they briefly discuss what Akili brought to Shuri's attention, and Shuri seems to take the notion that, or at least suggest that maybe T'Challa is content with potential discord and state, right? Like maybe you want to see all of this fail so you can slide right back into your role. It's not easy to play democracy when you're an emperor of an intergalactic empire. You know, it's hard to cast one vote when your literal voice speaks across solar systems.
Every king understand that, you know, sometimes you got to sit back and let your subjects make up the bed that they want to lay in. They want to lay in this bed. This the bed they wanted. T'Challa has not been a perfect king, but what you and I've noticed, and just going back to the Ta-Nehisi Coates run, there was rebellion in Wakanda. Mm-hmm. They held him accountable for a lot of stuff that happened in Wakanda. They wanted him out, which was crazy. In the midst of him, in the midst of them wanting him out, he got to keep everybody from killing each other. Then he got to deal with intergalactic invasion. Y'all promote him to emperor, so he's not even a king anymore. Like I'm really an emperor. So this really is beneath me. At the end of the day, this beneath me.
This is just Wakanda Prime. This Wakanda Prime. I got a million different Wakandas across the galaxy.
Yeah. So y'all gonna talk trash. Can we give it up for the fact that T'Challa is a smart ass?
Oh, absolutely. I love sarcastic people. I'm very sarcastic, so I identify.
His dialogue from issue 1 till now has been consistently sarcastic. I'm like him. We don't have time for this. This what you wanted. I'm gonna let you have it. I got other stuff I got to deal with. It's folks out here killing my people. I ain't got time for that.
So real quick, I don't want to hang on this too long, but I do think that there is something that Ridley is trying to flesh out here when we're thinking about how he's posing this structure with us, right? It's T'Challa probably knowing that Wakanda's safety is best in his hand. He's the protector of Wakanda. He's the Black Panther, right? So he feels as though Wakanda is best when he is able to make the decisions unilaterally. Being that we know what we know about T'Challa, you would tend to agree with that to the point that you start thinking about how you would view something like that in real world. Usually when anointed quote unquote heroes begin to overreach, it becomes tyrannical. It becomes, I don't want to say dictatorish, but it becomes a little totalitarian, right? That's what we see in real life. That's what we know to be true. So then how do you reconcile that with T'Challa essentially trying to do the same thing with the Wakanda, not forcing his hand, but allowing it to fall so that he can be the one to pick it up?
That's a great question. And I want to say this to the people that's rocking with us today and everything like that. There's something called active listening. And too many of us don't practice it. You just asked a great question. His leadership role, how many of us look at it in real world as in reference to how that could be perceived as being tyrannical. As you were asking that question, I was thinking about how he actually runs T'Challa in the Marvel 616 universe. And I got to looking, I was like, T'Challa is a king, but how he runs Wakanda is no different than a father runs his household. If I had to look at it, a father always feels like his way is the best way. Now, who does he take counsel from? If T'Challa is the de facto father, conducts himself like the father of Wakanda, then if you and I thinking about the readings that you and I read over the years, first it was Ramunda, but now it's safe to say that Shuri and Aurora share the motherly responsibilities of Wakanda, while Bast is the grandmother of Wakanda. She conducts herself like the grandmother of Wakanda. Even if we look at how she took Shuri under her wings, she passed down the same stories that a grandmother would pass down to her granddaughter. This is you. If I had to look at how T'Challa runs Wakanda and how we would look at it is he running it like a monarch, a tyrant, something like that? No, he runs it like a father. As a father, you never want to give up control to your children because you feel like you're best, you know best, because you don't want something to happen to him. And that's how T'Challa looks at Wakanda. He doesn't want anything to happen to Wakanda. Anything happens to Wakanda, he is more remorseful, which is going to be a lot when we say this, because this character is remorseful when something happens to his people. He's a lot more remorseful when something happens to Wakandans, then it can be said then Victor Von Doom is, or Name of the Submariner is. But when we look at T'Challa, it's more like a parent. It's more like, to me anyway.
No. Hold on to that, because it's a part 2 to that conversation coming at the end of this issue. So hold on to that. So on their way to Arakko, O is questioning T'Challa over his grief from Ja. It's never really been fleshed out or addressed. He kind of hit the road after the news came in about Ja's death, and he seemingly hasn't had time to take it in or really feel the weight of that. So I think it is interesting though that O is the first person to ask him that. You know, he's talked to Shuri. We'll see him talk to some other folks here in a second, but one of them didn't really bring it up. So it's funny how they're positioning O as this confidant to T'Challa. I think what I think. We talked about this in the last issue where I think where O lady is at.
I really think it was like a sisterly thing.
But I think she in there for a reason. I think she in that pocket for a reason.
She is. I think her character definitely does play a role, and I want it to be something going forward. Like, I don't want them to introduce her and then dismiss her like they've done with so many other T'Challa related characters. I just feel like when it comes to T'Challa, and I'm speaking way too much from experience, he's compartmentalized. It's like if nobody asks him, and we're gonna definitely touch on it later on as we review issue 3. But if nobody ever asks him, they'll never see it. He'll be the person that goes off in the corner and deals with the grief the best way that he possibly can. But as far as showing it or dwelling on it too long, no, he gonna compartmentalize it because he got stuff he got to do.
It's interesting, man, because I hate to keep putting the real life implications on this stuff, but it's like, that's kind of what black men do, right? You put it in a box and you leave it there until you can deal with it. The problem is, most of the time you're not really there to deal with it, and it sits and it festers, and ultimately it can lead you to making some bad decisions. So
it is a perception about society that a black man crying is something that's weak, and actually it's something that you need to let out of your system so you don't wind up doing something crazy. You know what I'm saying?
I would agree.
Like, just speaking from experience and everything like that, you can hold on to it, compartmentalize it, but you're still not dealing with it. And so it's when you're at your weakest emotionally, you're subject to revisit those emotions that you locked away. So when you look at T'Challa's character and everything like that, like I said, he got a mission. He got a mission, and that mission is more important than him grieving.
Okay.
So,
So T'Challa lands here on Arakko. Beautiful scene. I love the fact that, well, first of all, that Storm had a hand in crafting a planet. Like now she's a goddess of not one planet, but 2. But the fact that the layout resembles the motherland.
Yes.
Right? Like forever, the planet of Arakko resembles Africa.
Yes.
That's dope. That is dope. I can't lie.
Yeah. Beautiful. The artwork in this, and I just look back at it, just looking at the artwork on the next page where her lightning bolt and the little miniature thunderstorm that she has behind her is her cape. That's beautiful artwork. Man. I don't know how to render that, as far as talking to my wife about how to render that as one of Marvel Legends, but that is actually...
Her hair is textured, her nose ain't all crazy looking. Man, it stands out because so often you see black women and black men drawn in these books so crazy. So it really is nice to see, good looking art for Storm, for Gentle, for T'Challa. T'Challa's spinning a little bit. I don't know if he's beating me. Definitely not. But he's spinning. So like, I like the detail. At least at this point, whoever was pinning this should have been pinning that suit back at the beginning of that fight, because something fell off.
And you rocking with us, you're gonna appreciate this sentiment. You just are, because she said she wanted to portray it, and I don't care, because everybody loved her. Janelle Monáe in this outfit, walking up, that's your lady.
All right, here's my thing with Janelle Monáe. Just the shape. I ain't talking about nothing else. No. I get you. I get where you're coming from. Here's my thing with Janelle Monáe, right? The acting is fine enough. It'll work for an MCU movie. She's a shrimp. She like 5'2".
Okay, no. I'm just saying, like, you know what? I didn't preface it right. If I'm a dude, and my lady walk out to me with this outfit.
You just want to see Janelle Monáe in the suit. I can definitely, we can do that for sure.
Because I could have easily said Rihanna.
Hey, man.
You know,
listen. Don't make my dreams come true. Don't make my dreams come true and put Rihanna.
Any woman that you find physically attractive to you walking out in this outfit, the black thigh heel boot, the black thigh high boot, man, come on, man. That's your woman. You sit up like, and she got the confidence to pull it off. You sit up like, boy, I got me one, don't I? Like, you know, the pride in T'Challa's chest, like, I got me a bad one, boy. I got me one, boy.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah. No. It's nuts.
The screen with the last panel where Gentle is walking off, she's standing there with Rose.
Mm-hmm.
She looked at me like she's standing there on bow-legged pigeon toe bit. Like, I ain't saying, I'm just saying. Like,
speaking of Gentle, I literally have written down in my notes right about this scene. I was like, T'Challa is greeted by the mutants. Nothing but love for Aurora. I love that, right? No smoke, no animosity, no what you doing here. You can't just pull up without calling. We don't need none of that. We don't need it. See Jerry Duggan? See, they can be together and talk nice to each other and communicate, you know what I'm saying? So I like that, right?
Why I feel like T'Challa and Aurora dating behind the editors at Marvel's at Marvel.
Yeah, like they dating behind their back. Like don't no other writer know that they can be together except for John Ridley, apparently.
They dating behind everybody else's back. Like, you know, they ain't dating in the X-Men books. They ain't dating in the Avengers books either. Where they dating at? In Black
Crazy.
Panther.
It's crazy. But my next note, Gentle tripping. Gentle is tripping. I'm like, sir?
We
Sir.
thought it was good.
Who was that?
You fought in the Intergalactic Empire with the Wakanda.
See, you going further than me. You thinking like, oh, well, no, Gentle was supposed to be cool with T'Challa. I'm thinking, so are they going to execute him here on Araco, or do they take him back to Wakanda first? Like, where do they chop his hands off first? What happens?
Hey, because you know what? See, this what happen when you be nice as a king. People keep trying your game.
I'm like something is awry. What has gotten into Gentle?
See, you know what? Somewhere between Azuri, T'Chaka, and Sion, folks just started thinking that the Black Panther mantle is soft as I don't know what. I'm with you. Yeah. As a matter of fact, damn I'm a Lolo. Where you?
I'm like, so you didn't jump. Aurora didn't jump. Nobody came to my boys' defense. Hey. What is happening right now?
Hey, this where the sisters finna get mad at me. Or they just want to have their man back for nothing in the world, but they'll sit there and let another dude just put hands on you, bro.
Ooh, didn't jump, didn't take her heels and her earrings off,
nothing.
You could have struck a lightning bolt and separated them. So enough.
Let that have been Professor X, Wolverine, Scott Summers, Forge.
Oh, she better have pulled one of, and she better. I think she was soft because it was Gentle. It was like, all right, well, I know there's animosity here, probably. I can understand. Plus, we not at home. We out and about. We not in front of no family, so can't nobody see this. We're not gonna talk about it. We're not gonna take this home.
Can I just say this?
Good.
I appreciate the artwork, and I appreciate them showing Gentle putting hands on him, but I don't necessarily appreciate the backhand. I don't appreciate the backhand. Look, in the Black community, that is one of the most disrespectful things. Superman punch, overhand punch. Don't do no backhand slap no more. I don't ever want to see the king of Wakanda get backhanded again, ever.
I was about to say, Gentle whooped T'Challa so bad that they had to carry him away. Like, he was tired. He was exhausted.
Wait. What about
from
when
stomping that
T'Challa
mud
said,
off.
remember when T'Challa said, "Oh shit"?
Yeah.
I ain't never heard T'Challa say, "Oh shit." Like, wait, that ain't how you talk.
Well, I think we're about to get a better understanding here. So T'Challa and Aurora I don't know what the hell that was. Aurora have a conversation. They share a moment. She does inquire about which I was waiting for it. I was wondering how long it was gonna take us to get to it. Like, we gonna address the elephant in the room? Like, who is Shorty?
Come on, somebody.
Yeah.
Like, no, dead ass. Like, come on. Like, no, I like that.
Like she finally came out and said, I'm like, oh, so we just gonna let that ride, huh? So she asked him, and part of their new relationship, right? When they got back together, thank you for defining it and letting the rest of Marvel know that they have some canon to run with. It's not just ambiguous. They're not just dating. They back together in a relationship, right? But one of the stipulations of that was that T'Challa be honest with her, no more secrets. He tells her, I'm going to honor that, but I'm also not going to endanger you by giving you this information that don't really have nothing to do with you right now.
I think the thing is that their relationship, whether, and we see this in society, they are married. Not far as anybody else is, concerned or publicly knows, but they consider each other husband and wife. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what we've been talking about in the recasttchalla movement. That's what we've been talking about as far as just Black love being portrayed in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and everything like that. These two are in love. Shout out to Garrett Dupin for putting it in here, solidifying, making it canon. Just the artwork when they actually embrace one another. Like, yeah, I don't know if anybody else has had that happen, but your woman truly does genuinely love you when she pulls you like that and she kisses you. Like, that feeling is like none of it. That's her man. Like, let's be clear. That's her man. That's her man. So
for sure, man, for sure. So they do share that moment after Gentle kind of clears up some of our suspicions here and confirms that he is also one of the sleeper agents implanted on Arakko formerly, but now on Krakoa, but now is on Arakko, right? I saw some interesting conversation around this point on Twitter. And the notion was that Wakanda continues to prove themselves to be xenophobic by taking actions like this, by being such isolationists, right? And I want to get your take on it, right? Because I think this goes hand in hand with, the whole idea of T'Challa running the show by itself and how that could be perceived from everybody else down here who's supposed to be equally represented, right? Or at least not in that way of it, but in a democratic way, it's supposed to be represented, right? So I think this plays hand in hand with this idea that, that Wakanda is exclusionary instead of being cautious, is what I'm thinking. I wanted to get your thoughts on that.
I would say that Wakanda itself, as a fictional country, is a microcosm of us as a people. Even as Black people, first identifying with a color that you can't find on the map anywhere, we are xenophobic. When we talk about Bruno Mars, we had an issue with Bruno Mars. Some of us have an issue with Eminem. To this day, I can't even tell you why we went so hard after the girl who did the song No More Mediocre. Like, we went after her hard. We go hard after Russell Wilson. I can't tell you why. We go hard off of one another based on the type of music that we listen to. We go hard off on one another based on our hair texture. And we've done it. We are xenophobic within ourselves. So it's not that hard. Which is one of the reasons why I like the Rock With Me Nation. Everybody's in it. Your differences are just something that I can look at through a different lens. You feel what I'm saying? It's to be appreciated. It's not to let me isolate myself from Marcus. But we actually do that within our own race. So if I look at Wakanda, the fictional country, It's a microcosm of us, and we need to do a self-reflection of ourselves. Are we xenophobic within ourselves as a people?
Starting out with Gentle and T'Challa, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that, first of all, he put him on Krakoa as a way for him to have eyes on Aurora more than anything, right? Because not only did you have to have somebody embedded in one of the most powerful nation the first maybe 1A, 1B most powerful nation in that solar system. Now, if you have the capabilities to have resources embedded in competitive places on your planet, you do so. That's not necessarily xenophobic. That's just keeping up with the times, because you'd be hard pressed not to find any soldiers or any sleeper cells in your own country.
Is that how you were asking the question? Because if you ask,
No. I'm gonna separate that. I just wanted to get that because that's what the premise of the tweet was that Wakanda was continuing to prove that they're xenophobic by implanting. Okay. That's what I was addressing first.
Okay, from a militaristic standpoint, if I'm a king or a president, I got sleeper agents across the world.
Yeah, for sure.
No. Xenophobic. That is xenophobic. No, I got an interest at home to protect, and I need to make sure you ain't out there getting ready to pop off. I need that.
But let's talk about the rest of it as well, though. So, Wakanda, to me, I don't think they can truly be a microcosm of us being black in America. Here's the reason why.
Like I said, I didn't know what you meant when you asked that question and how they were.
No. Because I got everything else you were saying about xenophobia within the community. But here's where I think the difference is. I think sometimes black people cling to the things that we deem to be ours, the things that we've created, the things that we put out in the zeitgeist for the world to enjoy, right? Things that have been profited over, things that have been, celebrated when other people have taken them on, right? We have become very protective of our culture and the little that we do have that we can call our own, that we can claim that we created. We're protective of it because so much has been stolen, right? I think there's a difference when you seek to exclude to be superior, or if you seek to section yourself off because you're now protective, because now you believe it's the only way that you thrive, right? Like go ahead.
Now watch this. I don't disagree, but two things can be true at the same time. You heard part of what I said, but the other part that I said, we're xenophobic within ourselves as a people. Which is what the Wakandans are doing when it comes to, Gentle was born in Wakanda, but he's a mutant. It shouldn't matter. He was born in Wakanda. It shouldn't matter. If you and I, if the end all say all is that you and I agree that our lineage started prior to the slave ship. If you and I are both saying our heritage is from Africa, that's the end all say all. We don't have to divide it any more than that. If we trying to divide it any more than that, what's the motivation for me to say that I'm different than you? When truth be told, shouldn't I be happy with the fact that you and I both descend from the motherland? That should be our rallying cry in and of itself. And even that in this country isn't enough for me and you. You and I will still find cause to divide ourselves even further, not for progression, but for further separation.
So let me ask you this then. Do you feel like that is isolated here, or is that more of a human thing? Because if you look at the landscape, right, you're absolutely right. There are divisions that are drawn even within our own community. That can't be denied. I think a lot of that has to do with conditioning. I think it has a lot to do with narrative building, with altering history,
Right.
with a lot of things, with social policies, legislation. There's a lot of stuff that goes
Right.
into why we treat each other the way that we do. But the question I'm gonna pose to you is, do you think that that's a Black thing, or do you think it's a human thing? And if it's a human thing, can it truly be xenophobic? If every community across America has the same type of intersocial divisions, right? Because we just seen John Leguizamo, a Latino man, right?
Boy, I was like, wow.
A Latino man tell us that he lightened his skin for years to stay in the game and stay accepted. Now that sounds like colorism outside of black people.
You gotta think, well, you don't have to, but I can't tell you how that made me feel, because I'm like, damn, John, I've been knowing you since I was a kid.
Yeah, I was like, no. It made sense immediately though, because you didn't see him in every damn movie.
I remember Sammy Sosa when he was little.
Oh my God, don't bring him up.
This before steroids. So I'm like, is this like, I can't tell you how I look at it. I remember Michael Jackson when he had an afro. I'm just gonna say it like that. So when you ask me, because you asked some great questions, you did some great questions. What I will say to you is this: I believe it's an imperfection thing. I believe it to be a nature versus nurture thing. I also believe it to be, we as a people, if you and I can have this conversation, 29-year-old brother, 53-year-old brother, that means we know that's an imperfect attitude to have. We know that's a flawed attitude to have. You 29 and I'm 53. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it ain't like, bro, there's an age gap there. You feel what I'm saying? So if you are aware of it at 29 and I'm aware of it at 53, at what point do you and I say, we just gonna do better? Yeah. Like, we know it's a conditioning thing. I know if I grew up in the country and you grew up in the inner city and you and I meet for the first time, I understand that you're going to look at me differently. You understand that I'm going to look at you differently. But if we both know we're going to look at each other differently going in, what's wrong with looking at you, turning my hand to the side and saying, or just coming up, hey bro, what's going on? If for no other reason, we know our heritage starts in Africa. That should be enough in and of itself. This ain't 1969, this ain't 1979, this ain't 1989. Bro, this is 2022. When you know better, you do better. And at some point in time, I gotta look at me and you, because us furthering to the point of dividing ourselves, doing the whole xenophobic thing within our race. It could be very well, it's across racial divide, ethnic divide. I know it ain't prospering me and you. Mm-hmm. I know it ain't benefiting me and you as a race. I know it's not. So it might be benefiting another race, but that ain't helping Marcus and Theo. That's not helping Marcus and Theo. And if I call myself to be the man that I am, the king that I call myself to be, I can't say, Marcus, let's keep doing that. I gotta preach unification amongst my own, because as I told a younger brother when I worked at a community center, society tells Marcus and Theo that Marcus and Theo are at each other's throats. No, I'm not going to let that be the narrative. Marcus is going to replace Theo one day. That's the circle of life. I owe it to my race of people to help Marcus be the best version of himself that he possibly can be, so that our race is in better hands when I'm gone. That's the responsibility of any true leader. So, but that's me though. We talking comics.
Yeah. I was about to say we off the reservation a bit, but I like the conversation though. So I'm glad we got to get that out, because I felt like that combined with the short story that they did, at the end where they introduced another new character. It looks like at some point they're teasing some sort of civil war in Wakanda, and they're going to be introducing a new character named Toussaint.
But before we go there,
with
the conversation that you and I just had, even though it went off the reservation, if we look at the very last image where it says to be continued, it's not as far as the reservation when you think about the facts, gentle as Tchalla. Is it okay if I give you a hug?
You're right.
You feel what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
that's what it was. At the end of the day, Gentle is Wakanda. He would die for T'Challa.
absolutely.
T'Challa, forget everything else, Gentle. It's not that I don't want you to go back to Wakanda. You're actually safer here with the X-Men, because, well, who coming to Morocco to look for you? Who wants that smoke? The love that they are able to have for each other, putting aside their differences and just saying, no, at the end of the day, we Wakanda. Damn all you being a mutant. I'm not a mutant. You Wakanda. That's enough. That I love that part where we referenced it. Black men having to hold on to a pain. It helps for another black man to say, no, it's okay for you to let this one go. Let it go, bro. And we probably not seeing T'Challa shed tears in this image and everything like that, but I'm pretty sure he letting it go.
Oh, for sure, man. One of the first people to put their arm around T'Challa since all of this started going down. So.
Absolutely. No smart cracks or nothing like that, bro. I'm here for you. Let it go. So you talk about Toussaint?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Introducing a new character, it looks like. They are teasing some sort of Wakandan civil war at some point. It looks like democracy is not going to work great in the motherland. But I think that this combined with that last little bit, with them confirming that Gentle was placed within Krakoa by T'Challa, that's what really kind of kicked off the whole conversation about xenophobia and all that kind of stuff. So for sure. But it looks interesting, man. I like the dude. I'm not sure what he got going on. Definitely some vibranium technology that he's using. I'm not sure. I don't have any recollection of a dude named Toussaint. I don't know. He seems to be of some sort of royal blood. Yeah,
this is a brand new character. What I found interesting is the images as Toussaint's story develops in his backstory.
Yeah.
When you look, because if I'm not mistaken, T'Challa is actually in this backstory. So I'm wondering, is T'Challa at odds with Achilles?
That's what it looks like. Looks like. And then also, he says that at one point, when T'Challa's faction comes calling, some of the people from his village don't go.
Right.
So I'm trying to figure out what exactly is going on here, man. It looks like Wakanda is headed for some sort of trouble, and Toussaint's going to play a big role. So I'm excited to see where they see him pop up.
Well, I'm here for it. I like this. We're still fleshing out Wakanda, and Wakanda is itself basically a country, right?
Yeah.
Wakanda's a country, right? So T'Challa can't be the only superhero in Wakanda.
No.
That's not theoretically. That's not even possible. You know,
statistically, it's impossible.
So, the introduction of so now we have 4 Wakandan superheroes: T'Challa, Shuri, Gentle, and now Toussaint.
Yep.
And they're all Wakanda. So I'm here for it. I like it.
All right. So looks like the next issue, we got a brief synopsis. Shuri's life hangs in the balance. And with T'Challa off planet, things are not looking good. But before T'Challa can help his sister, the truth will finally come out. Has the assassin's ringleader finally been caught? Uh-oh. Have we gotten there? Tune in to us. Let's see here. Next month, I think this is a once a month book for some reason. I don't know why they take it so long, but we will be here to review again. Appreciate you rocking with us. Theo, take us out, man.
Listen, y'all know how we get down. Black Panther, we reviewing these comics once a month. My bad on us coming to it. Mark was just trying to get us here. It's totally me. I was on CP time. But yeah, we're gonna make sure we get these Black Panther reviews to y'all on time, on schedule. I ain't saying, I'm just saying. Peace.
For sure, man. Peace.